For the past 2 years, a serial killer has been attacking pet cats in Britain, leaving behind him a trail of fear and mistrust. This story contains details some readers may find distressing. Exactly what happened to Chantelle's black and white cat, Scooter, is a mystery. The last time she saw her, they were in her kitchen on a warm, still night this summer. Scooter was sitting on a stool watching as Chantelle marched around the house to increase her step count before bed. The next morning, she had disappeared. As Chantelle searched the street outside, a neighbor came over to say he had found Scooter at 1 a.m. She had been lying dead on the pavement outside his house. He thought she could have been hit by a car, even though there was never much traffic in their residential street. He told Chantelle he had gone inside to find a blanket to cover the body. When he returned, it had disappeared. He assumed foxes had taken it. But later that day, another neighbor approached Chantelle to tell her she had also found Scooter. This time the dead cat had been seen at 5:30 a.m. on the neighbor's front lawn. Scooter had been laid out as if she was stretching, except her tail had been removed with a clean cut and she had been sliced open from head to abdomen. Her entrails had been pulled out and laid beside her on the grass. The second neighbor had called the local council to take the body away, so Chantelle didn't see it with her own eyes. But she was sure of one thing: Scooter's death was not an accident. Chantelle had read stories about a cat killer operating around the M25, a motorway that forms an outer ring road around London. She didn't think her own cats would be in danger in her home in St Leonards-on-Sea, 70 miles away on Britain's south coast. "I didn't think to lock my cats up at night, but if I had, Scooter would still be alive," she says. She and her husband are now thinking about moving to a new house where they can secure the garden to prevent their other cat getting out. "I've had a couple of miscarriages, and that was easier to deal with than this, because that was meant to be," says Chantelle. "I've never been jittery in my entire life, and now he's messed up the tranquility we had." The person Chantelle thinks is responsible for Scooter's death is a prolific cat killer who has been operating in Britain since 2015. During that time he and police are sure the killer is a man, has butchered more than 370 animals, mostly pet cats, but also foxes, rabbits and possibly a wild baby owl. The first reported victims were clustered around Croydon in South London, so the press named him the Croydon Cat Killer. But killings were later reported all around London, prompting a second nickname, the M25 Cat Killer. In fact, his hunting ground has spread even further than this, to the Isle of Wight, Kent, Birmingham, Wirral, and Sheffield. In early June, a small group of people gathered in a Quaker meeting hall in Croydon by the side of a busy roundabout. As the traffic hummed and beeped outside, the group listened to a harpist and lit candles on a table adorned with a large photograph of a tabby cat with a white tummy. They were there to commemorate the animal victims, joining together to sing the hymn "All Things Bright and Beautiful" and to recite poems about grief. "Love will solve this," was the reassurance given by the organizer, a 46-year-old local animal activist with the striking name, Boudica Rising. Over the past 2 years, Rising and her partner, 52-year-old Tony Jenkins, have been the central characters in the hunt to catch the cat killer, real-life pet detectives. Originally from South Africa, Rising is a self-described mad cat lady who has been involved in animal rescue since arriving in Britain in 1994. "Our problem is that people still think of him as just the Croydon cat killer, even though he's been more widespread for some time," she says. "I hope people realize they need to keep their cats indoors, keep a lookout for strange behavior, and report it to the police. Most of all, I hope that somebody will recognize his characteristics in the places he's killed and turned him in."